Don't miss UBC Radio Ground Zero every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We host credible and relevant guests to discuss pertinent issues of national importance aimed at addressing people's concerns. UBC Radio Ground Zero right here on UBC Radio.
The Uganda Water and Environment Week is back. Join us as we deliver value internally and externally by promoting a multinational integrated approach that links all sectors of water and environment, and also explore and deliberate on the water and environment resources to climate resilience. The week commemorates 3 sector days of World Water Day, World Forestry Day, and World Meteorological Day. The Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from 12th to 17th March 2023 at the Ministry of Water and Environment headquarters in Luzira, under the theme Water and Environment for Climate Resilient Development.
Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners.
Don't miss UBC Radio Ground Zero every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We host credible and relevant guests to discuss pertinent issues of national importance aimed at addressing people's concerns.
As a country, if we don't fight this vice of corruption seriously and with honest opinion without any bias, things will not be good for us.
UBC Radio Ground Zero right here on UBC Radio.
UBC, ensure that the information you give out is factual but also objective, balanced, and complies with the legal and policy requirements for the media.
Ground Zero program is always live, loud and clear, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on UBC Radio, Butebo FM, West Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM, and live stream on YouTube. You can also listen to the repeated broadcast of UBC Ground Zero every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
And in case you have just joined, this is News Hour, and I am Alex Wandeva. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has called upon Ugandans to support having excuses on the possibility of getting out of poverty, citing people of Cattle Corridor who, he says, got out of poverty through the dairy industry guided by the NRM party. According to the president, the milk produced in Uganda has now gone up from 200 million litres to now 7.2 billion litres per year, with its collection improving tremendously and players in the market rising from about 15 operators in 1986 to a total of 647 with fully equipped milk collecting centers. The president was speaking at the event to mark the International Women's Day. Fahim Muyingo reports.
At Sanga Playground in Sanga Town Council, Chirhura District, to commemorate Women's Day under the theme Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation and Gender Equality Future. Officiating at the ceremony, the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni focused his speech on commercial farming, saying that it will benefit women to get out of poverty, since most problems in families are caused by poverty.
Honorable Mongi connected it well. He said you cannot be a scientist unless you went through primary school, and you went through secondary school, and you went to university. But I want to go further back. You may not even go to the primary school if the home does not have income and food security. Because even when we say the government pays, the children should study free in the government schools, you hear them saying that children are coming at school without food now. So now, then these greedy teachers and their headmasters start now collecting money from people who have no food. If he has no food, where will he get money from? We must have lunch money. The issue of lunch should be solved at home. So you cannot have, this woman will not be a scientist, or you will not get many of them. You will get a few, but it is easier if the whole society comes up, gets out of non-money economy into money economy, then you will be able to get more more scientists, both men and women.
Despite it being Women's Day, the president added that he will not focus his speech on women only, but the entire population. He said leaders should talk holistically and not partially, because for women to get out of poverty, there has to be general transformation of the society.
Will the welfare families pay for the girl child to study or not? Show me a daughter or a son of a rich man that has dropped out of school on account of not being able to pay the school costs. Families getting out of poverty is a good base of solving other problems. Yes, you may get greedy men who get rich and abandon their wives and children. The question is, are they really rich or are they just having some little money while previously they had nothing? Otherwise, if the families are rich, the courts of the state can even discipline irresponsible husbands to share wealth with their spouses.
The president called upon leaders to deal with the people they represent psychologically, as sometimes poverty is an issue of the mind. He accused leaders of approaching poor people in an elite way, which he thinks hasn't helped in eradicating poverty, especially in the rural setting.
This person, how is he thinking? Why does he not see what I see? The problem of the leaders is elitism. You go as elite. You don't try to penetrate the mind of the patient, because these are patients. They need to be cured of their lack of information. So my question to them was, you are nomadic because you say you are looking for pasture in the dry season, you are looking for water in the dry season, you are also running away from the diseases. Have you seen the government farm at Mbara, what they were calling the farm of the Mzungu? Have you seen the government farm at Mbara? Say, yes, we know it. Have you ever heard them being nomadic? They say no. So the government farm is not nomadic.
According to research over the years, the government of Uganda has made notable strides in eradicating poverty since it assumed power in 1986. Household poverty rates have significantly declined from 19.7% in 2013 to 8.4% by 2020. Fahim Muyingo reporting for UBC News Hour.
On the other hand, women in the media still plead for a leveled ground at their places of work so as to compete favorably with male counterparts. This was contained in a paper titled Women and Challenges in the Media Practice, presented by the Deputy Principal, School of Law, Makerere University, Dr. Zahra Nampeo, at a media meeting organized by the Africa Center for Media Excellence in Kampala. Dr. Nampeo said most newsrooms are male-dominated, calling for female participation in all roles. Sarah Natolo has the details.
According to the Deputy Principal, School of Law, Makerere University, Dr. Zahara Nampeo, in most newsrooms, it matters who reports the stories. She said it also matters who edits these stories, and it matters who is quoted in these stories. Dr. Nampeo added that it also matters who is leading the journalism organization and making key decisions. Brenda Namata is a media practitioner, and she says fair representation in media is a critical issue for society as women working in journalism face challenges.
The issue of sexual harassment, it is strong. It is something that UMWA has defined as a silent monster under our mission 2025, where we see that female journalists are suffering this silent monster in the newsrooms. Colleagues and bosses within newsrooms are harassing female journalists, feel that they go to sources. Instead of giving information to these female journalists, they start to harass them, either from the issue of asking them for sexual pleasures in order to give them a story, or it comes to the issue of harassing them as far as their bodily appearance is concerned, the differential gender pay gap. The male journalists are being paid more as opposed to the female journalists. Many of the media houses describe female journalists to be of less responsibilities as far as their socio-economic lives are concerned, and so they give money more to the males as compared to the females.
Tracy Kansime, a broadcaster, said in most outlets the stories we read are not representative of the world we live in. noting that men are still the majority of storytellers across all the platforms.
One thing that is still holding female journalists from actively participating in this media space is, one, their role has been reduced to a very minimal role, should I say, where you're just maybe a presenter or for entertainment or for the beauty or for the looks. And for some that are really looking to be, for example, challenged in such a workplace or in life or in a career position, that doesn't offer you the satisfaction you want. So you end up going for more challenging roles that will offer career insights or career prospects that, challenging in a manner or put you at a level where you feel you match up to your peers, match up to your responsibilities. And that also comes with the pay. The pay is not as good as for the men that are in very senior positions, that are in decision-making positions, and that also challenges women to sort of look for other businesses, other careers that will money in their pocket.
Carol Kasuja, a print journalist from the New Vision, said men still receive 62% of bylines and other credits in print, online, TV, and have 84% of the privileges.
Most female journalists are facing in the field is sources not respecting you. You approach a source, but because you're a female, they look at you differently. You want something, but instead the person is busy looking at you weighing, but this girl, does she even know what she's going to write about? Yet, that's not the way they view the male colleagues. Poor pay from our media houses. Most young journalists are running away from the media because of the poor pay.
Some of the women in the media commenting on the challenges faced in the profession. Funizawa, Sarah Natolo, reporting.
Meanwhile, Article 32, Clause 1 of Uganda's constitution states that the state shall take affirmative action in the favor of groups of marginalized on basis of gender, age, disability, or any other reason created by history, tradition, or custom for the purpose of redressing imbalances which exist against them. One such group is women, and therefore many policies have been formulated to empower women since 1996. But are there any successes? Well, our reporter Anna Kajumba talked to a cross-section of women legislators on whether district women representation in Parliament has registered any success.
Speaking to UBC Radio at Parliament, Rosemary Nyachkongoro, woman member of Parliament for Shema District, appreciated government for coming up with affirmative action, saying that it has helped women to participate in leadership positions at different levels. Nyachkongoro has asked her fellow women legislators to also give a chance and promote rural women in their constituencies so that they can also take up leadership.
We need to work hard to ensure that if you have served in that affirmative action for several years, you need also to empower other women so that they are capable of coming up. For me, I believe in affirmative action that builds the capacity of other women to come on board. So if we remain in a small circle of women, it means that we are actually pushing away other women other than bringing them on board.
She also called upon government to come up with affirmative action that will motivate girls to take up science courses at the university level for better enumerations.
We have seen government promoting sciences, and in terms of salary, it is going to create a discrepancy between women who are not scientists, and remember we are the majority, and we did not pay the affirmative action in that era. So if we don't encourage our girls to take up sciences, right from primary, secondary, up to university level, we are going to see discrepancies in terms of economic empowerment, because now scientists are highly paid and majority of scientists are men. Therefore, this is an area that we need to look at. We just don't say that 1.5 for women who are going to Makerere University is there to confirm the affirmative action, but we look at which subjects are we supporting particularly that need affirmative action. Is it technology? Is it science? Is it electricals?
Margaret Makoha, a woman member of Parliament for Namayingo District, has urged government to introduce computer lessons at primary level to equip pupils with ICT skills so that they can compete favorably in the digital world.
give them the skills. They will grow up knowing what to do, and they will be very powerful women because they will have information at their disposal. They will be able to market their goods. But if we do not prepare them and wait for them at senior 3, senior 5, then we tell them do computers subsidiary subject, it won't be of help. And many women don't reach those levels. So let's try to capture the attention of the girl child while is still in primary section so that we can equip them with good information which can help them when they've grown up.
The Buko District Woman Member of Parliament, Evelyn Chemutai, also noted that because of affirmative action, the women agenda has been achieved and there are now more women in Parliament than before.
Has attained it's a milestone. There are fruits already visible. And you see the women agenda has been pushed because we now have more than 100 women members of Parliament. And if there's any issue of women, they turn up and stand together. And we still need more, actually. We need more women to contest under the direct seat, that's the constituents, together with those ones who are coming under the district seat, and then we make the women agenda more stronger when we discuss in the House.
Brenda Nabukenya, Luero District Woman Member of Parliament, further said that affirmative action policy has registered little progress and there is need for government to go back and look at the challenges still affecting the implementation of the policy.
Appreciate that we must continue the women's agenda. So there's a little progress, but I cannot say we are yet there. If we still have prevalence of teenage pregnancies, we still have more men having better jobs than women, we still see women in markets, we're using meager resources to trade, do business, not fully economically empowered. That means the affirmative action has not worked totally. So we need to go back and revise and look at the challenges and the gaps so that we can better.
This year's International Women's Day celebrations have been held in Kirhura District under the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. Reporting for NewsHour, I'm Anna Kajumba.
And relatedly, Ugandan women today celebrated their International Women's Day. National celebrations were held in Kirhura and were presided over by President Yoweri Museveni. However, a section of local leaders, including women councillors, don't seem excited about this day, saying that it is more of a high-level profile meeting for only VIPs. Henry Baguma engaged Nakawa Division councillors, starting with the Deputy Speaker, Nalwama Jalia.
Time around, I'm here in Nakawa, and I would like to engage a few officers and leaders here in Nakawa about the issue of women. I start with the Deputy Speaker, Nakawa Division, here in Kampala, to talk to us, first of all, Madam, your name, and talk to me about the population of female councillors here in Nakawa, and what's your main role?
My name is Nalwama Jalia, the area woman representative for Chanjia Parish, and the Deputy Speaker for Nakawa Division Urban Council.
All right. So talk to me about the population of female councillors here and what is their main role?
We are 36 women representatives in Nakawa, and of course our main role is to represent the people. We don't specify whether to represent women or male or youth. We represent all.
All right. Let me have another officer here in Nakawa. Sir, your name, what do you do in Nakawa, and what do you think about the issue of women here in Nakawa?
My name is Mwanje Ben, a councillor representing Bukoto Tutu. What I can say for the National Women's Day, the women were left out of this program. As the local leaders, you don't know what is going on. All our women are there, they don't know. As a division, we don't have any budget to celebrate our Women's Day. Sure. We are here struggling. People are saying National Women's Day. Our women, they don't know anything about going up or about that program now.
So there's no budget at all for the women, specifically for this event. I'm surprised about this. Let me get from the deputy.
As the Nakawa Division women representatives, we surely left out. We don't know anything that is going on. It's us, the leaders, who try to engage our communities, plan accordingly, and we see how we can get back to our women in the areas that we represent.
But how then are you going to popularize or promote issues of women if you have no funds at all?
We've tried from the little allowances that we get as councillors. We try to utilize it efficiently and give back to the communities, or even some other lobby. If at all the lobbying becomes out positive, yes, that's how we try to get back to the women that we represent in council.
Yes, let me get to the female man here. The male person here. What did you think about the issue of women in Uganda? Are they given enough, or there's a lot missing?
The women are missing many something, because that now the women who have the women in powers, like with the leadership, like we have the vice president, we have the speaker, we have the ministers, but the women is on the ground. They left out. There is nothing at the ground.
How important is this day, Madam and Sir? Let me start with the man.
National Women's Day. The woman was left. Was left out, because this is National Women's Day. People are enjoying the higher level, but on the ground, no one knows that there is also the Women's Day.
Vukoto 2 Councillor Ben Mwanje talking to Henry Waguma about Women's Day. Still on Women's Day celebrations, the Ministry of Gender says that the persistent gender gap in digital access in the country is due to the stereotype and social norms held against women taking up male-dominated jobs. Stella Nekesa, an IT officer at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, said that females continue to be discouraged by their male colleagues who question their potential to handle the job. Mary Prima Awor reports.
Today, Uganda takes part in celebrating the annual International Women's Day event under the national theme, Equal Opportunities in the Education of Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. Studies show that female in the country remain underrepresented in science, technology, engineering and math, including women occupying only 37% of the 6,193 medical jobs, 7% in the engineering profession and 20% architecture. Despite the gender gap in digital access, Stella Nekesa, an IT officer at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, said that the technological profession is highly profitable, especially for women who embrace the computer-generated space.
I love IT because it's interesting, it's mind-stimulating. So we also in the market job, we are like a hot cake. So that is also one of the other reasons that I really like what I do.
Nekesa urged women to adopt and embrace technology and disregard the criticism expressed by the males.
There is that challenge where people underlook women in IT because they think it's a men's job, it's a male world to do all the technology things. So most of the times people don't think you're going to do work that is good enough. Change will change you if you don't want to change, because we are in the digital era. And 5 years from now, even the housemaids at home will have to know how to use IT to operate some certain gadgets. So whether we like it or not, whether you're biased, we all have to go pro-IT.
In the same spirit, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi Ongom, granted women of the ministry's support towards helping them to adjust to the digital space.
We will continue as Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to coordinate action to ensure that we prioritize issues related to science, technology, engineering and innovation. We will continue to support women in their career, right from the career guidance at secondary level up to national level, and skills training.
The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi Ongom's words resonate well with the feminists' popular adage, there is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Reporting for News Hour, I am Mary Prima Awor.
And you are still listening to News Hour from UBC Radio here in Kampala. My name is Alex Wandeva, and let's now take a break. When we return, more stories.
The Uganda Water and Environment Week is back. Join us as we deliver value internally and externally by promoting a multinational integrated approach that links all sectors of water and environment, and also explore and deliberate on the water and environment resources to climate resilience. The week commemorates 3 sector days of World Water Day, World Forestry Day, and World Meteorological Day. The Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from 12th to 17th March 2023 at the Ministry of Water and Environment headquarters in Luzira, under the theme Water and Environment for Climate Resilient Development.
Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners.
Don't miss UBC Radio Ground Zero every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We host credible and relevant guests to discuss pertinent issues of national importance aimed at addressing people's concerns. UBC Radio Ground Zero, right here on UBC Radio.
Welcome back to News Hour, and we shall remain on Women's Day celebrations for another moment, whereby as the world celebrates Women's Day, female health workers have asked government to provide enough necessities so as to ease their work. The health practitioner at Makerere at Mulago National Referral Hospital says most of government health facilities do not have enough equipment and safety gears, which at times harden their service to the patients. We have this by Anetina Mobiru.
Rose Amende is an assistant nursing officer and midwife at Mulago National Referral Hospital chapter. Her work entails delivering women on a daily basis and offering nursing services to the patients. But Amanda says that she is finding it challenging to execute her duties professionally and safely due to lack of necessities and safe gears. Amanda dismissed accusations of misconduct among female health workers, saying they have served diligently despite the challenges.
I don't agree with that, but again it goes back to personality and how we are brought up. Because everybody, even in other offices, there's when you walk to an office and you find this secretary is really very bitter or something. But I still think it goes back to our personality and personalities, and then how we are brought up from wherever we are. However, I cannot also say they are not there, probably because of the working conditions. You are alone on ward. You have over 20 mothers on labor ward. You cannot be everywhere. So at times you're overwhelmed because of work. Maybe at home you've not paid rent. Maybe the children are sick and you're supposed to be on your place of work. So it all comes to one's personality and then how they deal with stressors.
India has advised government to recruit more health workers, saying they are overwhelmed with the number of patients in the government facilities across the country.
Like if you went to Kawempe, you find that on a day shift, we have like 4 midwives, and we have over 20 or 30 mothers in labor ward. So you cannot please everybody. You're going to prioritize which one needs urgent attention, which one needs this. But by doing that, at times we are looked at like we are not doing enough. But we're actually doing our work to our best.
For UBC News Hour, I am Annette Namobiru reporting.
And as Ugandan women celebrate the International Women's Day, Uganda Prisons Authority recently commissioned a special intermediary training for women commanders and support staff. The 4-month specialized course is being conducted at Uganda Prisons Training Academy, Luzira. UBC's reporter is with one of the facilitators, Dr. Juliet Mbweire from Uganda Management Institute.
I'm called Dr. Juliet Mbweire. I'm from Uganda Management Institute. I am here to train the prisons staff, and I'll be their course manager to make sure that we take them through this training for the next 16 weeks.
So what sort of training, madam, do you offer here?
We are UMI trains in leadership and management. We are training the prison officers in leadership and management and how to properly handle the prison's activities, how to handle a prisoner to conclusion with empathy, humanity, and ensuring that at the end of the day the prisoner is rehabilitated.
So is this a security training or an academic training?
No, it's academic training that will help the prison officers. No security, it is academic to give them competence-based skills on how to manage the prisons and how to manage their clients in the prison. Yes.
This course has come at a time we are celebrating International Women's Day, so I'd like also to take you within that context. Talk to me about a Ugandan woman and management.
Management starts at home, and the home is made by a woman. And when women come into management, we become better managers. So we are proud to have several female prison officers that are going to be trained. As we celebrate the Women's Day, we are proud that we're empowering the woman to become a better manager and help to manage this country. Thank you. Yes.
There was an independent research conducted which indicates that women are more peaceful people, peacemakers. I want to understand whether this research could be correct at all. Do you think women have a role to play in peacemaking?
Yes, peace starts with a woman. It is the woman who has the ability to contain everything. And if the woman can become peaceful, the home becomes peaceful. The society will become peaceful, the children will become peaceful, and we live a peaceful life. Peace starts with us, the women.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is your message as we celebrate International Women's Day?
As we celebrate International Women's Day, I'm telling all the women out there, please be peacemakers, please be good managers, please be exemplary, so that we have a country that we are proud of.
That is Juliet Atwe Bembire talking to Henry Baguma about Women in Security Command. Of late, Uganda has been awash with cases of homosexuality and lesbianism, especially in schools. The act, which is against the right cause of nature, is criminal in Uganda, and several people were arrested over engaging in homosexuality. Today, being the Women's Day, we asked the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, on whether bisexual is a classification of gender. Juliet Naiga reports.
During the Women's Day celebrations in Kiruhura district, UBC sought to understand why people who identify as bisexual also consider themselves as a category in the gender definition. However, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, said gender classifies women and men, nothing in between.
Gender or a woman is defined biologically. Someone born a woman is a woman. A person born a man is a man. We do not go into the definition of gender in perspective of bisexual. That one is not us. Ministry of Gender also is in charge of family values, and for the family values, we want to bring up our children with our African values.
On the other hand, Minister Mongi said that the champions of women empowerment should also educate women that championing women causes doesn't mean causing chaos in homes or rebelling against their husbands.
We also want women not to cause instability in homes. That the family values, when you are in a home, the empowerment we are talking about is empowerment in decision making, empowerment economically, empowerment to make sure that you are able to avoid violence in a home, but it is not to cause confusion. Development in the country and inclusion of both girls and respecting their rights.
In line with the day's theme, Minister Mongi had this to say.
For innovation, we are working with Ministry of Education, with government, to make sure that ICT lab is equipped in all government schools. We are working to ensure that skilling for girls, skilling for women who have not gone to school in technology, in skills that can allow them to be empowered and get money. We are looking at that economic empowerment, and today we are going to launch a big project here which will be financing businesses for women.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has said that although a lot has been achieved in government's efforts to empower women, there is a lot more to do.
The women who are still struggling are there because of a number of challenges. One, education. You need a paper to be given a job. If you don't have it, definitely they will not give it to you. But we are almost there. When you see the statistics of our young children who went through senior 6, vis-a-vis those who made it through senior 4, vis-a-vis those who are going through university, nowadays the number is a bit relative, and therefore we, the women in positions of leadership, need to see and sit and say, yes, we have this position. Do we have women who are qualifying? But of course we have to go through the competition. You have to compete with other people who has the same papers, who are men, and therefore you have to also perform.
She said that women should not just be employed because of their gender, but perform and earn their positions.
And therefore I want to use this opportunity to inform and educate our fellow women that despite the fact that we want gender equality, we also have to perform and, be able. We have to have that quality. We need to show that we can also use the positions that we have got.
The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, speaking to the media at the Women's Day celebrations in Kiruhura district. Reporting for News Hour, I am Juliet Naiga.
Still on Women's Day, Doreen Nyanjura, the Deputy Lord Mayor for Kampala City and also the LC5 Woman Councillor for Makerere University, has called for equal treatment of women in the country. She makes her call as Uganda joins the rest of the world to celebrate the International Women's Day. Nyanjura says that Women's Day celebrations should be used to highlight the cultural injustices women continue to suffer. Our reporter Diana Orenyi Peters caught up with her and now reports.
Although the UN designated 8th March as Women's Day, the roles of women are year-round, right from creation, and therefore some people say that the women should be celebrated on a daily basis. According to Doreen Nyanjura, the Deputy Lord Mayor for Kampala City, women should be celebrated every day for what they contribute to humanity.
First of all, I think women shouldn't only be celebrated on 8th March. I think women need to be celebrated every day because women go through a lot. Women have suffered a lot of historical injustices.
Nyanjura says that even with the advancement in technology and civilization, women continue to face several forms of inequality.
We see women that are employed outside their homes. Even when they go back home, they still engage in unpaid care work. So you find the women are working double. You have to work at home and you also have to work outside home. That does not apply to them. When you look at poverty, the poverty levels are still so high amongst the women. When you look at employment, you'll find that more than 3 out of 10 women, those that are working, the women are paid less than what their males are getting.
On her part, as a young woman in leadership, Nyanjura acknowledges the need to inspire other young girls into leadership.
But of course, for me as a leader and as a young woman at that, I also feel that we have led the generation of the women that came before us, the likes of Winnie Byanyima, the likes of Miriam Matembe, and those women that played a role to ensure that we enjoy the rates that we enjoy today. Because if I'm to analyze the things that they did and what my generation has done, you can barely find almost nothing. So I think it's really a food for thought for us, the young women in leadership, to carry forward the struggle. If the women that came before us fought for affirmative action in political offices, can we, for example, my generation, fight for affirmative action in the economy? If you walk in a boardroom, you'll hardly find any woman.
Women still struggle to break the glass ceiling in various fields of work. On this, Nyanjura says there is need for effective reforms that can empower women.
Can we push That for any business, for it to be recognized, there must be a percentage of the employment that goes to the women. For me, I think that is the way to go. For us, we should now be focusing on ensuring there's a 50% representation.
In fact, Sierra Leone is already applying what you are talking about. And for the case of Uganda, we have some women empowerment programs.
I didn't want to go to those programs. I can tell you, for example, that in the KCCA budget, we have programs like UWEP, we have programs that are meant to empower people living with disabilities. All those programs have now been removed. And so really, those programs are there, but the programs are not reaching the intended women. I've personally taken it upon myself as the person in charge of the gender docket at KCCA, and we have moved around to see the beneficiaries of this money that is meant to empower the women. And, the results were shocking. The beneficiaries were women who already had something. It was not the downtrodden women.
The 2023 International Women's Day intends to explore the impact of the digital gender gap on widening economic and social inequalities, spotlight the importance of protecting the rights of women and girls in digital spaces, and address online and ICT-facilitated gender-based violence. The question is, will this inspire women from shying away to explore their full potential? Time will tell. Reporting for News Hour, I'm Diano Olwin-Peters.
Now, every Women's Day, the Presidential Awards Committee awards different categories of medals to women honorees of excellence in their fields of service. Today, a number of women have been recognized for their efforts towards women's causes. One of them is Immaculate Namata Mugabo from Kayunga District, who was awarded a Diamond Medal. Besides being a politician, Immaculate Namata Mugabo is an accountant, large-scale rice and sugar cane farmer, businesswoman, activist against gender-based violence, and one of the directors of the Sunset Schools. She talked to Juliet Naiga about how she feels about her achievements.
I really don't know how I was really spotted, but I am a strong activist for gender-based violence. I really have the urge. I try. I walk around many parts of Uganda on invitation, on my personal invitation, sharing with women and girls and men and boys the trouble, the challenges, the effects of gender-based violence, particularly to the girl child and the woman at large. And of course, being exceptional when it comes to education, to being an educationist, because this is an area where we are trying so much to pull the woman, the girls to be at better positions as far as education is concerned. And being a player.
How do you feel about this medal?
So much proud, because out of almost 50 million people in Uganda, I mean, Immaculate. Of course, I know so many people, so many women do almost the same work like I do. And for the country of Uganda to have acknowledged my effort, my love, my feeling, my everything, I am special. I feel special. I feel wonderful. I feel so good. You can't imagine. And I feel inside me, I have been given an energizer.
Okay.
Because I have been given a diamond medal. And I believe and trust with the hard work, next time, God willing, and with the effort that I'm going to put in, I'll once again come back here as a gold medalist. That I believe.
That is Immaculate Namata Mugabo from Kayunga District, who was awarded a Diamond Medal, and she has been speaking to Juliet Naiga. Now, in sports news, Indiga Clan football team are eyeing to win their first ever Vika via Uganda Shield. Uganda sends 4 golfers to Kenya ahead of the magical Kenya Golf Open. Champions League returns to action this evening. Bosa Ibrahim takes us to the world of sports in this sports update.
This is Sports Update.
Thank you. We start with local sports. Ndiga Clan football team are optimistic to win their maiden Bikabyabaganda Shield in the finals against Lugave Clan football team at Mtesa 2 Stadium in Wankulukuku on Saturday. The Ndiga Clan will be playing their third final ever despite winning none. Speaking to UBC, John Sekwato, the Ndiga Clan football team manager, appreciated the support from all clan members since the start of the campaign.
Let me take this opportunity to thank all people who belong to Ndiga Clan for their support from day one we started our game till now where we are. We are going to play the finals of Bikabyabaganda between Ndiga and Lugave. So I call upon all the people to come here on Saturday for the football match which is going to take place when the Ndiga Clan winning their first trophy ever.
Sewato says his team is in shape and hopes for the best from his boys come Saturday.
This time round, the team is well prepared. All the players, their vibe is so high. So please, you come and support that game on Saturday.
Lugave Clan, who last won their shield in 2004 with 6 trophies in their shelves, will miss their potential midfielder Ivan Serubiri, who is ruled out with an injury, and some key players at Sports Club Villa, who will be in a Uganda Cup replay clash against Bull Football Club. Mbogo Clan are the defending champions of the Bikabyabaganda Football Trophy, having edged Kobe Clan on a 1-0 goal margin at Masaka Recreation Ground in 2019. In the other news, a set of 4 amateur golfers set off to Kenya for Magical Kenya Open kicking off soon. Among these is Hare Hakiza, Angelo Wasike, Andrew Alinaitwe, and Raymond Ekwamu. The quartet will join Alan Mugisha and Raymond Rugumayo, who traveled earlier to Kenya. Raymond Rugumayo is the only Ugandan professional golfer participating in the Magical Kenya Open Golf Tournament. On the international scene, UEFA Champions League returns to action with 2 games in a round of 16 return legs.
Sports.
Bayern Munich is hosting Paris Saint-Germain at Allianz Arena in Munich at 11 p.m. local time. FC Bayern Munich scooped a victory in a reverse fixture away from home at Parc des Princes on 14th of February in a 1-0 goal margin. Paris Saint-Germain will miss their key player Neymar, who is ruled out with an injury. In the other game, Tottenham Hotspurs are taking on AC Milan at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London at 11 p.m. AC Milan won the reverse fixture with Diaz's lone score at San Siro on the 14th of February. That's all we had for you in the sports update. I'm Boss Ibrahim.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of News Hour. On behalf of the entire team here at UBC Radio Newsroom, including my producer, Henry Baguma, this is Alex Wandeva, and good night.
This is UBC Radio. For news.
At UBC Radio, we bring you Uganda's latest news and information.
Focus on Parliament.
What do we need to do?
Join us again for News Hour, broadcasting on weekdays, 8 p.m. on the UBC Radio Network. UBC, inspiring Uganda.